Soft serves and dirty sodas are making their way downtown. What new business is going to bring to Good Golly, Kent?
President Trump is requesting an extension in the surveillance law. What that means for Americans.
And today is the final day to file your taxes. What you can expect out of your refund and more as Kent Stater TV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and welcome back to Kent Stater TV. I'm Lexi Blatnick.
And I'm Sophia Lena. Thank you for joining us. We start tonight with updates here in Kent.
That's right, Sophia. Downtown Kent, is seeing a brand new business.
Yes, we have a new addition to its dining options with dirty sodas and hot dogs.
Our very own Amanda Nichelle is here to talk about it and has the inside scoop. Hi, Amanda.
Hi guys, that is true. The business is opening and Good Golly is arriving to Kent, and the anticipation for it is building up.
But hard to forget.
A soft serve, dirty soda, hot dogs, and things shop is opening in the heart of downtown Kent. With a concept built around fun and nostalgia, the team knew the name had to match the energy.
Essentially, it's an exclamation. You know, it is, you are so excited, something is so fun, so good. You say, good golly, wow, that's good.
Behind me, Good Golly is preparing to serve up a colorful mix of sweet treats, including soft serve, hot dogs, and specialty drinks. But beyond the menu, the goal here is to create an environment where customers can step inside and feel like a kid again.
People come in and it's just fun. It's relaxing, and that they'll come back. It's an everyday staple. We're going to call it an everyday eatery, a place that is fun and refreshing, that we can connect with locals, but also college students.
And for the owner, that traces back to some of his own childhood memories, going to the local stands and getting snacks.
And everything is cheap, everything's fast, and it's all fine. I want to take that and doing like an elevated concession stand a little bit.
The goal isn't just to serve desserts, but to become a lasting part of the community.
After a football game, after your kid's baseball game, before going to the bars, that it's like a weekly thing, that in a couple years it's like, man, how do we not have Good Golly before?
As opening day gets closer, there's a lot to be excited about.
I'm looking forward to seeing an orange sherbet vanilla twist.
I mean, that's amazing because we don't really have an ice cream place in downtown.
Yeah, that is true.
They're really don't. In Northeast Ohio, like more towards Cleveland, there's like so many of them. Right. And I'm from Cleveland.
Now we're finally having one.
And now there's finally
so
one.
Exciting.
When is it opening?
They're expected to open at the end of May, but planning is still underway, so maybe that'll change. But hopefully they'll be here for summer.
And you went there. How was it? The preparations and all that?
So nice. They're doing so many orange themed things. It's so nice. It's going to look really pretty.
The little guy decorations, the hot dogs are so cute. Oh, well, thank you so much, Amanda. Great as always. Well, a jury found Live Nation and Ticketmaster operating as a monopoly on Tuesday. The Justice Department and 39 state attorneys sued the company in 2024, citing it suppressed competition and drove fees up for fans. The Tuesday verdict does not bring any immediate changes to ticket prices or fees, and that's because a second trial will be held to decide what remedies and structural changes should be made.
Post offices are filled and accountants are getting crazy because today is tax day and the IRS estimate more than 50 million Americans are being benefited from the deductions approved by Congress last year as part of their Big Beautiful Bill Act.
This filing season, three things are happening, as you just heard summarized there: lower taxes, bigger refunds, and more money in the pockets of hardworking Americans. We did that intentionally.
The average refund for almost 100 million households as of April 3rd was $3,462, which consists of more than 10% above last year's. According to the IRS, now because the law went into effect mid-year, many companies ended up withholding too much from the workers' paychecks based on previous formulations. Not only that, but the proportion of people who get a refund rather than owning money seems to be going up by 3%.
The White House is predicting that relief at the pumps could come by the end of this summer. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters that he's quote-unquote optimistic that fuel prices will fall back to prices consumers are more used to.
Well, the message is the short-term volatility for long-term gain. I'm optimistic that during the summer we will see gas with a 3 in front of it sooner rather than later.
Though it's not exactly in the $3 range, AAA says gas is now averaging $4.11 a gallon. That's a penny less for 2 days in a row. The price relief comes as the Iran war seems to near an end, which appears to allow oil markets to let up. Right now, the U.S. benchmark is below $100 a barrel. President Donald Trump tells the New York Post that negotiations with Iran could resume soon.
This year's tariff refunds could total $127 billion and are on track to be processed starting next week. Importers can make claims for refunds with interest from the Supreme Court invalidated taxes, and companies who pay the tariffs have already filed thousands of lawsuits. However, trade attorneys are warning that there is a possibility that the Trump administration could still file an appeal.
Guys, and welcome to your Wednesday weather forecast. I'm your weather anchor, Lila Hughes. We're going to start off looking at today. It is not snowing, it's going to be raining, and there's going to be some scattered showers. We're going to see that starting off at later today at 7, and the humidity is high at 76, and that's going to roll into that thunderstorm we're seeing. And the wind is going to be from 15 to 20 miles an hour. And actually right now, the Cleveland Weather National Service issued a severe thunderstorm in 120 counties, and Portage County is included. But as we look forward into the hourly forecast, we can see that the rain and the thunderstorms are going to be starting at 12 a.m. and they're going to roll into Thursday. And as we look at the oncoming tomorrow's weather, again, it's not going to be snowing, it's going to be storming and raining. It will be scattered showers starting from 12 a.m., rolling into 2 a.m., stopping, and then starting back up mid-afternoon. So keep that umbrella handy with you. The sunset time will be 8:06, giving you a lot of sunshine, so whenever it's not raining, you're going to enjoy that sunshine and maybe get some tan in. So, that's all that I have for right now, but stay tuned to see the surrounding temperatures of Ohio in the extended weekly forecast.
With the stress of finals and many other factors, Kent State students can feel alone this time of year.
That's right. KSTV reporter Lex Rady sat down with Kent State's Counseling and Psychological Service to talk about the resources.
What can you tell us, Lex?
A Kent State student is dead after what police are calling a suicide. As the campus community processes the loss, university officials say support is available for students who may be struggling.
As the semester winds down, concerns about student mental health are growing on Kent State's campus. Kent police say officers responded to a welfare check just before 4 a.m. on April 3rd after a call about Kent State University student Dominic Farrago's well-being. Authorities say the call was made out of concern for his safety. Farrago later died. The university says it is aware of the impact on the campus community and is encouraging students who may be struggling to seek support. Police say welfare checks are requested when someone is concerned about a person's safety or mental health. On campus, that support includes counseling and psychological services, or CAPS, where students can schedule free consultations and access ongoing care.
Usually the kind of check on well-beings we get, somebody's having a problem, they've expressed something on social media, or they've sent a text saying, I don't know if I want to be here anymore.
Police say these calls often begin with warning signs, changes in behavior, messages, or posts that people see before police are even notified.
If they're acting radically different than they have in the past, if they're reaching out and texting, saying things that are vaguely threatening, you should check in with them on that.
If those concerns continue, officers say a welfare check can help connect someone to the resources they need. CAPS also offers group therapy, workshops, and after-hours crisis support for students.
So if someone texts you or says something on social media or something else, you should feel free to call that person and go, hey, what's going on?
And if students feel unsure about what to do, police say reaching out, even if it turns out to be nothing, is always the right choice.
If you call us for help, we're going to come help, and whatever that is.
With finals approaching, a time officers say often brings increased stress, both university officials and police are encouraging students to look out for one another.
Take care of each other, be nice, and if you can be anything, be kind.
If you or someone you know may be experiencing mental health struggles, please contact the resources mentioned in the story. You don't have to fight your battle alone. For KSTV, I'm Lex Rady.
Thank you, Lex. President Donald Trump urged GOP lawmakers this Tuesday to extend the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. In a social media post, Trump says the military desperately needs a reauthorization as it is set to expire on Monday. While Donald Trump says it has saved lives in the past, critics fear warrantless service of Americans.
Right now, I don't know what the pitch is other than what it always is, which is we got to have this stuff to go after bad guys. Yes, we know. We all agree. Thanks. Thanks for 101. We need to figure out how we're protecting American citizens in the process.
This law allows CIA, National Security Agency, FBI, and other agencies to gather and analyze phone calls, text messages, and emails for foreign targets. However, in the process, Americans' information can also be found, making several civil and liberty groups on the right and left contest this power for U.S. officials and require change, including a requirement for warrants.
And on Capitol Hill, the Department of Justice is looking to dismiss charges against the Proud Boys and members of the Oath Keepers involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. The groups are currently facing seditious conspiracy convictions, the most serious convictions related to the riot. President Donald Trump has spoken out against these prosecutions, saying they're an injustice against his supporters. A U.S. spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney for D.C., Janine Pirro, declined to comment.
Now, the Justice Department is adding new charges against the alleged 2021 D.C. pipe bomber, attempting to use weapons of mass destruction and attempting an act of terrorism while armed. The defense argues that he is protected partially under President Donald Trump's pardon of people involved with the 2021 Capitol attack. But the DOJ alleges he planted 2 explosives the day before the riot. Both new charges are on top of the earlier ones, including transporting and attempting to use explosives.
For the second time in history, a British monarch will visit a congressional meeting. King Charles is set to visit the United States for its 250th anniversary of independence. The King and Queen Camilla will also meet with the President and the First Lady privately. Buckingham Palace says the trip will highlight the relationship the U.S. and Britain has since the U.S. gained its independence. Today is the final day of the Camp Mystic trial. Details on the hearing and what the directors had to say.
We've had plenty of professionals come into our campus because they really love the work that students are doing here. Just having that professional experience that we try to mimic every day, I have really been able to say to employers, I've tried this, I've edited, shot, and interviewed plenty of people, and I could be an asset to this newsroom, but I want to learn.
I've also wanted to continue this curiosity of understanding our media world.
Registration for Lavender Celebration is open now. Lavender Celebration is a historic pre-commencement ceremony held to honor queer graduating students. Now hosted by Pride Kent, this event will be held on April 30th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Kent State Student Center Ballroom with a community reception at 5. Join us for a free dinner and award ceremony with keynote speakers and watch the graduates walk the stage and receive our iconic rainbow stoles. Bring your friends, family, and absolutely anyone, regardless of how you identify. Scan the QR code or go to the link below and register today. Registration closes April 20th.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. Judy.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. 27 campers and counselors were killed in a flood last year. Today, the camp's co-director Edward Eastland and his wife were questioned in court.
CNN Sherelle Hubbard was at the court hearing and has the details.
You failed her, did you not, Mr. Eastland?
I wish we had more information.
The director of Camp Mystic, where 27 campers and counselors were killed last year, seemed to break down on the stand. So far, he's testified that he did not see official weather warnings issued the day before the deadly storm, held no staff meetings on the situation, and made no calls to evacuate until it was too late.
All the information was there for your entire family to see and utilize if y'all had just stayed awake and looked.
Prosecutors grilled Edward Eastland and his wife and fellow camp director Mary Liz Eastland.
It seems like you only helped the children whose names were Eastland. Is that correct?
Those were the only ones I could get to.
It's the second day of testimony in an evidentiary hearing for the civil case brought by the family of a camper who was never found, 8-year-old Cecilia Seal Stewart.
You had 34 more years of experience than Seal. She needed your help and you abandoned her, didn't you?
Yes.
Stewart's family is seeking to block the camp from altering any buildings or fixing damage at its main Guadalupe River site to preserve evidence. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back, Flashes. We're gonna first start off with an overview of Ohio. You can see that we're sitting at 79 degrees, which is pretty nice. But if we look down at Columbus and Cincinnati, they're sitting a little bit higher than us at 82. A little bit jealous. But as we look into Northeast Ohio, we can see that the temperatures are around the same, but we do see Kent dropping 3 degrees, and we're still seeing the more higher temperatures than normal. But if we look into the extended forecast for the week, we can see that it's not changing much tomorrow, but you can see that we will see chance of rain starting at 4 and 8 p.m. on Thursday, which is going to be pretty significant, so make sure to bring your umbrella. And as we get into the weekend, there is a chance of thunderstorms on Saturday in the afternoon, so bring your thunderstorm. Don't bring your thunderstorm, bring your umbrella. You don't want to be caught in the thunderstorm. There we go. And as we look forward on Sunday and Monday, we can see that the temperatures drop down, but actually, if you are allergic to pollen, this will be the best day for you because the pollen actually drops, and it will be very nice if you have allergies, so you can enjoy the springtime weather. But yeah, we can see that those are the Thursday and Saturday are the rainy days that you should look out for. Everything else is pretty nice and partly cloudy. But that was a look at your full forecast for the week. Be sure to stay updated with KSTV. I'm Lila Hughes, and that was your Wednesday weather.
Cleveland Guardians travel to St. Louis to finish the series against the Cardinals. Find out who won this game on Jackie Robinson Day after the break.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused, fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Hey there, welcome to
Kent Core.
Kent Core. To Kent Core.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your sports anchor, Ryan Mead. Today, we have a lot of action from this time of year from several different sports at once, so let's start off locally with Kent State lacrosse. The Golden Flashes women's lacrosse team took on Ohio State earlier today. Coming into this game, Kent State was sitting at 7-7 and coming off a 15-7 win over Detroit Mercy. Ohio State had a decent year so far at 8-6, and historically, Kent State has never beaten the Buckeyes in lacrosse. This would not be their first win, however, as at halftime the score of this game was 8-3, and the game finished with Ohio State dominating 17-6. The next game for the Flashes on Saturday against Central Michigan. Now heading on over to the NBA, the 2026 playoffs are set to begin this Saturday and continue all the way through June. The play-in games for this year have already begun yesterday with the Phoenix Suns and Charlotte Hornets winning, and tonight will conclude with tonight. The Cavaliers are set to play the Toronto Raptors for a very intriguing matchup at the 4 and 5 seed. The Raptors in both previous games were able to beat the Cavs, but they haven't played each other since November. You can catch this game at 1 p.m. on Saturday on Amazon Prime. And now we're going to go ahead and move on over to baseball, where we had Jackie Robinson Day, and the Cleveland Guardians took on the St. Louis Cardinals here, and the Guardians started off early with a Kyle Manzaro single is going to bring Jose Ramirez home. An incredible play there is going to give the Guardians the lead. Manzaro had only a 180 average heading into this game, and so maybe this can start to get things going for him. But however, for the Cardinals, they're going to get the lead right here with Alex Burrows in a single to center. He is going to bring a bases loaded 2-run single up the middle. And he has had a great year so far, batting .270, and he's got 12 RBIs on this season. And so the Cardinals were going to get a lead here. But the Guardians were not done yet, as right here, Bo Naylor, this one's going to be deep, but not quite out of the ballpark, and this one's going to bring two men home. The score is now 4-3, St. Louis still with the lead. Could the Guardians come back in this game? Well, I've got bad news for you Guardians fans. That was not going to happen here, as the Cardinals were going to get another run here, score being 5-3, and they were going to end this game with a win for them on the series, winning 5-3, an impressive win for the Cardinals. The Guardians will be looking to get back on track with their next game at 6 tomorrow. For more sports, check out Kent State Sports Network on Instagram. Now for the rest of your Wednesday newscast.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium debuted 2 new residents, who they are, and more.
I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agree, the scammers are out of control.
And we need to show them how to use a password manager. Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great.
Great cake.
I'll use MFA to verify my purchase. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Just do it. Like, just walking here into the newsroom or just going to the studio and be like, hey, I want to do this thing. And the chances of someone telling you no are 0. We always want help here. We always want someone willing to jump into different things. And at the end of the day, if that's something you want to do, either as a career or just as a hobby, learning those skills that we get here, it's what should push you to keep doing it. Just trying it out and see what you can learn from that, it's awesome.
Newest residents at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California made a splash on Tuesday. Sea otter, Surrey, and willow were rescued in 2022 after being orphaned in different areas of California. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service determined the 2 couldn't be released back in the wild, so the aquarium took them. But the aquarium staff says Surrey remains independent. Willow, on the other hand, is social and resourceful.
How cute. Now, a little shop in Tallahassee, Florida is being flooded with Pop-Tart orders after a 1-minute mention by A-list actor Ryan Gosling. The bakery is keeping up with the demands by having to limit counter orders to 1 per person, and the shop is insisting on keeping its quality over quantity, making each French tart dough by hand. The small business went from baking a few dozen batches per day to hundreds, but the owners are thrilled, affirming it's a moment of joy.
I'm looking at those Pop-Tarts. They don't look that appetizing.
I have to do a confession, never tried a Pop-Tart.
You've never had a Pop-Tart?
Never had a Pop-Tart.
We should have did that on Best of Kent instead of people trying pizza. Sophia Elena trying American food. I've been trying to get this to go forth. We need it.
That's true. That's true.
We need it.
But I haven't tried a Pop-Tart. It's very popular. I just don't know. I don't even know what it is, but that's all the time we have for you guys.
Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday evening with us.
For more stories in your community, be sure to check out KentStater.com. I'm Sophia Elena.
And I'm Lexia Blatnick. Have a great night, Portage County.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We've had plenty of professionals come into our campus because they really love the work that students are doing here. Just having that professional experience that we try to mimic every day, I have really been able to say to employers, I've tried this, I've edited, shot, and interviewed plenty of people, and I could be an asset to this newsroom, but I want to learn.
I've also wanted to continue this curiosity of understanding our media world.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Is going to all those live concerts really such a bad thing? Hey, no judgment. But today, 1 in 4 people over 20 have signs of noise-induced hearing loss.